Howdy all, this is Texas Gaming Industries here, and welcome to episode 24, part 4 of my Let's Play Transport Fever 2. In the previous episode, we got some of these farms connected to our rail network, and now we're slowly starting to transport crops and other stuff to Memphis to produce food, as well as connecting to a couple of other towns as well. And in this episode, we're going to continue with our expansions, so we can basically start making more and more money. Now then, the next state that we can basically... Let's see. The city of Murray. That's in Kentucky. That will basically cost us about $1 million. What about in Jonesboro? Same price. However, we'll have access to grain once we move into the state, allowing us for the first time to transport commodities back south to New Orleans to be processed into food. This could be a very profitable operation. But first of all, we need to earn some money in order to purchase those land rights. Because as of right now, we are basically not running at a very profit, because our company value is at negative 71.8 million. With our company score at 27? What? Why would it be that? I don't know. Sometimes the game can be a little bit confusing. But, however, our sugarcane farm, our fishery, and our rice farms are actually producing a lot of commodities that we can pick up. Although these rice plantations only produce about 50 units each, it should still be okay. All this train needs to do, well, all these trains need to do is just head back down the main line to their original destination. I have a feeling this is going to be a very profitable operation once we start earning more and more money from our freight operation, from delivering crops to the food processing plant. Now let's see. Beyond Jonesboro is the state of Missouri. Here we need about 4 million to basically access it, but we'll have some new commodities. Logs, and for the first time, corn. Which, if we deliver corn from here, we could deliver it to this cattle farm located here in Jonesboro, allowing us to transport meat and dairy products. So we could basically deliver milk as well as corn down here, along with grain to produce new food items. Also, good thing is there's a logging camp. The logging camp is also super nearby this sawmill in Memphis, so we could basically start producing lumber. However, we'll need to and there's also a cigar factory here, but it requires tobacco. Let's see. Where is the closest tobacco farm anyway? Unless it just says the only one that's available is either Evansville or Murray. So I guess in order for loads of, tobacco to be brought in from here, we will have to basically build a track that will go from the middle track to connect to this track that leads onto the tracks closest to the, Mississippi River. Let's see. Well, at least one of our trains has arrived at the plantation to pick up rice. Soon enough, the other engines will be picking up their loads too. But this one eventually nearing its destination. $149, 148. Now 149 units. Alright. First load of crops. Of sugarcane and rice. Speaking of which, where is that fish train? Huh. Our foodstuffs train's just left already. Speaking of which. Oh, crumbs. It seems like when I saved the game, it just reverted to that commodity. I gotta remember to be careful when I save my games, otherwise it's going to revert to another cargo that's not needed. Though, Natchez Halt is actually producing clothes? What? Where is this clothing even coming from? Unless... It's possible when I deliver the loads of cotton here to the textile factory here in New Orleans, the clothing must have been picked up by some of the steamboats traveling along the river. However, I am still not basically transporting any clothing into any towns until I basically get a much better transport operation in. And more importantly, I take my competitor down. Well, not competitor, competitors. 45 miles an hour is actually pretty good for a 460. Besides, those engines will basically handle those food trains for a little while. Until I get a much more modern set of freight engines to handle it, or just switch them over to the moguls, whichever comes first. Let's see. Well, there's actually 115 units of fish. That's actually a pretty good amount. That fish will be very, very beneficial. 375 units of sugar cane, 190 units of rice, and our first train of rice is now making its way towards Memphis. All the while, I think it's time to start expanding our operations. Okay, we'll basically place down another 360-meter station here near Hattiesburg. However, we'll have to get rid of the platforms and the station buildings, of course, in order for us to basically allow, proper platforms for our stations. Mad Hatter platforms. We'll get rid of these so I can basically add these walkover platforms. Alright. 2 of those there. 2 of those there. Alright. Actually, replace that station building with this. Alright. Another set of wooden platforms beside the track. Alright. Then place down the roofs. And of course, we'll need to set up a roadway to connect the station of Hattiesburg to the main line. We'll have a bus stop there, and a bus stop here in town. We'll have to add this, and set up another bus route. Bus service E. We'll just set up another set of track. Speaking of which, how much did my train of rice get me? Oh, here comes train B1 with its load of rice. Speaking of which, let's have a look. Okay, that's not it. This train made about $3.17 million in profit of delivering just rice. Whew, that's a lot of money. Though I am curious on how much my sugarcane train will bring in because it has a nearly full load. Anyways, I'll have to then basically do that. Make the ground embankment. And then just connect these two tracks together. Alright. 45 miles an hour. 45 miles an hour. Fifty-six. 56. 45 to 45. I actually realized I did not add that angular tunnel that I normally use. Well, I can pretty sure add it in the next episode once it comes out. I'll just have to basically edit the description for that video. But, alright, Hattiesburg is now connected. Our first station along the eastern part of the railroad. To get rid of those signals, and I'll place some new ones down. Alright. Let's see, I'll have to, I'll copy this text. Put this D. Oh wait, I already have a D, so it's gonna be an F. It's gonna be white, and it's gonna be with the same platforms. And then it's gonna go up to Hattiesburg on platform 4. Actually, let's change it to platform 3 instead. Oh, hang on. This is not the correct platform for my commuter trains. Well, at least for now. Actually, let's just change it up. There we go. Much better. Now then, let's basically invest a little bit more money and acquire another of the Union Pacific's 440s to handle the new passenger service to Hattiesburg, and then get a bus, some stagecoaches to operate on the new bus route. Let's see. Let's see. This is locomotive number 30. So after 30 will be 32? Speaking of which, does this engine have any lettering on its tender? We'll see when it comes out of the engine house. Yeah, it does. I'll have to get something else. Let's try number 35. Alright, that'll do. And then I'll basically get some stagecoaches and put them to work on bus service E so we can start transporting food, well, passengers through. And now I have to set up a new freight station to basically deliver loads of food into Hattiesburg later on. I'll just basically do a bit of a curvature. We'll expand the tracks out here for a bit, so we'll have some room to apply a new switch to the freight siding. 45, 45. Seven, 47. Get rid of that, and then just basically try to get the tracks connected to this. Let's add a couple of signals here as well. I need them eventually when I operate my trio of express trains. There we go. We'll have to also replace this sign here in town with something a little different. Let's go a little old-fashioned with one of the crossings that's default from the 1850s. Alright. That should basically do it. Should I actually operate a passenger service between Brookhaven and Hattiesburg? I could just probably set up an intercity bus route or something. Okay, let's see. Whoa. Our factory is really humming. It has a lot of stuff brought in. Speaking of which, how much did that train of sugarcane bring me in? $15.1 million! That's a lot of dough. And it's kind of funny because some of the stuff that we're making down in New Orleans eventually is going to be baked goods, like regular bread and cornbread, with some dairy to make butter. Now then, let's see, what else? Well, now that we have enough money, we might as well expand into the next state. This being the state of Arkansas.
Arkansas, the Bear State. The local government welcomes you and asks you to transport cigars to the town of Jonesboro.
Alright, cigars it is. We can easily pick them up from the cigar factory here and bring them into Jonesboro by rail, but we also have access to this cattle farm here, and once we expand further northwards, we'll be able to access some more areas and new commodities. Let's see. Middle track, east track, go to east track. Jackson will actually be a diversion point of either we'll have another station that will have trains going to the middle, to the left, or to the right. Actually, let's basically get started on the expansion to the state of Arkansas. Alright. Alright. Actually, let's basically raise the track bed up a bit so it will have a much better clearance over the river. I do not want to know what will happen if I make a bridge too short. Well, a bridge too low, and it basically affects the programming, the AI programming for those ships along the canal. Speaking of which, have I already built a steel arch bridge already on my railroad, or was it somewhere else? Oh yeah, I already built one on that side. So let's actually try something a little more stronger. Let's actually build let's basically use one of these steel arch bridges over the river. Don't have access to some of those more truss bridges over the river just yet. And it's going to cost about 5.93 million credits just to build this. Guess I'll have to take out another loan again. Ugh. Alright. Place that down. Place that down. And now we have a bridge spanning over the Mississippi River again with an arch bridge. Well then just... Whoa. I was not expecting that. Guess I'll have to modify the terrain a bit again in order to basically get rid of this, unsightly looking piece right here. Thankfully, with free landscaping, I can be able to do this without spending all of my money on the budget. And then I could just use this to make it a little more smoother, and basically it's like it was never there. Okay. Now we finally crossed over the Mississippi again, and now we're on the western part of the map of the U.S. So I think this could be a very good ending point once we get over this crossing, and then yeah, after we get this crossing worked on. So, if you enjoyed this episode of my Let's Play of Transport Fever 2, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the Texas Gaming Industries for new video uploads every Friday or Saturday, depending on my outside schedule. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye!